One of those calling on the Prime Minister is our next guest, the Conservative MP, Jacob Rees Mogg, who joins us from Somerset. Welcome, Mr. Rees Mogg. Can I ask you about this letter that you have signed?
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. This letter that you have
Yes,
signed
certainly.
going to the Prime Minister. Now, one of the things it says is that not a penny must be paid to the EU unless we have a full trade agreement with no tariffs agreed by March 2018. Is that a misprint?
It's very important that, yes, it's March 2019 when it has to be agreed, not March 2018. Yes, I know, obviously. But it's very important that we don't hand over a great deal of money unless we have an agreement. The risk is that we pay the money from the day we leave, and that reduces our negotiating clout to get the trade deal finalised if it hasn't been done before the 29th of March 2019, and that seems an obvious point.
And you want the transition period, which is basically there to help British business, to mean that we can carry on, we can actually start to do free trade deals with the rest of the world, and that we have no European Court of Justice jurisdiction whatsoever during those 2 years.
Well, the question is whether we remain in the European Union for an extra period to have the transition, or whether we've left on the 29th of March 2019. If we remain under the European Court of Justice and we're making large obligatory payments to the EU budget, there is no difference on the 30th of March and the 29th of March, and we will have stayed in the European Union. So it's a question of whether we've actually left in 2019 or are de facto remaining in the European Union, but without any votes or without a judge or without any of the current protections that we have, poor though they are.
Can I be clear, under your plan, as it were, because there's also no freedom of movement after March 2019, in effect, there is no transitional period at all. It's happened. March 2019, no freedom of movement, no ECJ, no money, we're out, and that's it.
You describe it beautifully. We will actually have left in March 2019.
So there isn't a transition period.
The Prime Minister used to refer carefully, just a moment, the Prime Minister used to refer very carefully to an implementation period. And that meant that we had left in 2019, but we're implementing the consequences of leaving. Now everyone seems to be talking about transition, which means transitioning from in the European Union to out of the European Union. And that delays our departure for 2 years. And it was very interesting listening to Mr. Milburn earlier, pointing out that the poorest areas of the country voted to leave. We need to deliver the benefits of leaving to the poorest in our nation, because otherwise they will feel deeply let down, and that includes dealing with freedom of movement, and it includes getting free trade deals so that we can lower the cost of food, clothing and footwear.